Candidates Forum, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Whidbey Island and Snow Isle Libraries. My name is Mary Huffine, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Whidbey Island. I'll be this evening's moderator. My fellow League panelist is Joanna Rooms, timekeeper. Carol Pulliam is our Zoom platform manager, and Karen Bolstad provides additional technical support. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that encourages voters to be informed and active participants in government. Snow Isle Library's mission is to provide resources to the community for lifelong learning. Our partnership enables us to pool our resources to provide neutral and unbiased information to the public. Check out our respective websites for further information. Before we go further, I want to let you know the Island County Auditor strongly advises that we return our completed ballots to official ballot drop boxes. This is safer than mailing our ballots. Recent changes in U.S. Postal Service procedures mean we need to allow a full 7 days for mail delivery, so please use ballot drop boxes instead. I also want to note that 5 seats on the Washington State Supreme Court are contested this year. To educate yourself more about candidates in this important race, check out either Vote 411, sponsored by the League, or WashingtonSupremeCourt.org. Our audience tonight reaches beyond Whidbey Island. The Leagues of Skagit and Snohomish counties have joined us for this event so that voters who are Legislative District 10 constituents in their areas can also hear from the candidates. Welcome all. I'd also like to welcome the panel of candidates participating in tonight's forum. Our forum will consist of 3 segments. First will be candidates for 10th Legislative District Representative, positions 1 and 2. Second will be candidates for Island County Sheriff. And third will be candidates for Island County Commissioner District 3. We appreciate candidates' willingness to participate in this important voter information event. All candidates received copies of our League's forum policy and ground rules, as well as recording releases. These documents outline forum structure, expectations for civil discourse, and our commitment to treat all participants with fairness and respect. Since this is a forum and not a debate, candidates are asked to focus on their own ideas and proposed policies. This forum is being recorded by the League. A link for viewing it will be posted on our website. No other recording is permitted. Any use of the recording requires approval by the League of Women Voters, Whidbey Island, and then with the caveat that it must be broadcast in its entirety. Candidates are not allowed to edit or use the footage for campaign purposes. The format for this evening will be standard Q&A. The questions have been selected in advance by our forum committee, and none of the questions has been disclosed to candidates prior to this forum. The moderator will pose all questions. Each candidate will have an opportunity to answer all questions. The order of the candidates in respect to questions has been determined in advance by League organizers to ensure a random and fair sequence. The first responder to a question will have 90 seconds to answer. The remaining candidates will have 60 seconds to answer. When each candidate's time is up, the timekeeper will show a red card or say time. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for a closing statement. And now let's begin. We're going to start out with the 10th Legislative District candidates. And we have Kerry Kennedy, we have Clyde Shavers, Tim Haslow, and I don't know if Dave Paul is here. Is Dave here? Not hearing. We'll proceed anyway. All right, the first question will go to Kerry Kennedy, and you'll have 90 seconds, Kerry. What are the 3 most important issues facing 10th LD residents? 90 seconds. Oh, there it is.
You're muted, Carrie.
I hit the wrong one, sorry. I think the biggest concern right now is the taxes and the income tax that was voted on last session. I think that people have been pretty much taxed out, and there are a lot of people that are living in Washington State because there was no income tax. And we're seeing a large exodus of businesses that are leaving because of high taxes. And I think that's going to be a top priority. I think the one of the big priorities, especially here in Island County, is the transportation. And we are looking at 3 EV ferries very long term down the road. And I personally think that we need to look at the ferries that we currently have and either retrofit them or get those operational, because businesses and people that live in Whidbey Island and transport back and forth are being impacted by the lack of ferries. And also, we need to make sure that we've got training and that kind of operational things in place for the future of the ferries. And then I believe the other thing is the housing industry here and in the other districts. We need to look at the. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Clyde Shavers, same question to you. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you very much for those questions. A very important question. The top three issues deal with affordability, ensuring that doing everything we can to make life more affordable for working families and individuals. So affordability in healthcare, ensuring that folks across the 10th legislative district have affordable healthcare as well as convenient access to healthcare. Second is affordability in housing, and this really permeates across all age ranges, young adults to seniors as well. And we're talking about rising property taxes, for example, and also the ability for young adults to actually purchase a home and call Whidbey or Camano or Skagit or Snohomish County's home. And finally, third, just affordability and the daily kind of things we all pay for in terms of groceries, water rates, utility rates. We all see these rises, and our office has been really focused for the past 4 sessions, 4 years, on ensuring that we can fight for the affordability in terms of expanding senior property tax exemptions and things of that nature. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim Haslow, same question. You have 60 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And I too am in my car, Matt, so you know. Hey, here's the deal. It's Clyde said it. It's affordability, and more affordability. I appreciate Clyde hitting that nail on the head, right? The problem here is that the people in office have not considered affordability for the last 15 to 20 years. We are the third highest fuel cost in the nation. We're the sixth or seventh highest cost of living in general. We're the fifth highest, and actually going into the fourth highest cost of housing. Affordability is the top issue in our state. My children cannot afford to live here because of affordability. You know what the difference is between the other 40 some odd states and Washington state? 30 years of single party rule, and now the government doesn't respond to the people. The government tells the people what the people want. So it's affordability and accountability. If you want affordability and accountability, look towards Haslow.
Thank you. Now, is Dave Paul here? I don't see him. Nope. Okay. Let's go to question 2. And this will go to Tim Haslow first. What specific actions would you support to address affordability, including housing, healthcare, and everyday living expenses? Tim, you have 90 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I have to turn my video off. I'm having some issues with that, but hopefully you guys can hear me just fine.
We can hear.
So yeah, there are a lot of things we can do. I mean, to say that government spending in the state of Washington needs a haircut is an understatement. Every problem we have, okay, that's an overstatement. Almost every problem we have in the state of Washington is, when it comes to affordability, is government created. The housing cost, the raise in housing costs is government created. I'm sure some other candidates in this forum know just as well as I do. Just to break ground on new property, it usually costs about $250,000 in the state of Washington. Could you imagine how much easier it would be for my children to buy a in the state of Washington if it didn't cost them an extra $250,000 just to break ground. So we have that going. Somebody had mentioned, well, when I thought Dave was going to be here, we were going to talk about education, but let's talk about education. We spend more than most states. We're in the top 4 or 5 of states in expenditures, and yet we've slipped another 3 states down to number 31 in education and how our kids are doing in standard testing. So we keep spending all this money and raising the cost of living for everybody because of this taxation and all of these problems that we have in government, the overspending, and yet we're not getting any results. So my ideas are pretty simple. If a program doesn't work, get rid of it. If a program's a good program and it needs some massaging, then get rid of the people that are running the program and put somebody in place that can
Fine.
run the program. Thank you.
Thank you. The question goes next to Carrie Kennedy. You have 60 seconds. And you're muted.
Yeah, hi. I believe that the first thing we need to do is have complete audits on all of the programs, divisions, departments, agencies within the state. And I push the audits a lot because I think even though there are practices for audits, I think that we are not doing proper audits. And until we know how and where the money is going, we're not going to be able to fix or help other people, other agencies, specifically, the citizens. And honestly, until I'm in Olympia and can look at where things are actually at, I'm not sure I can give a real direct answer. But I do think that we've got to start streamlining some programs. We've got to look very hard at how those programs are being utilized and who they're actually benefiting. Thank you.
Thank you. Clyde Shaver, same question, 60 seconds.
So this goes back to my first answer. Our office has been, for the past 4 years, really focused on affordability and making your life easier and more affordable. So, for example, for the past 4 years, our office has been working and co-sponsoring bills to expand the property tax exemption program for seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities. For healthcare, our office has co-sponsored bills that ensures that certain services are included, like telehealth for audiology. And for everyday living expenses, last session, we also co-sponsored a bill that prevents and mitigates surprise or rapid increases in your water rates. Finally, with gas being so high, I voted no on a gas tax that would have increased the gas prices even more. So these are the many things in the past 4 years that we've been really focused on ensuring that your life is easier, that your life is more affordable, and that everything doesn't just cost so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Question 3. And this goes to Clyde Shavers first. How should the state address behavioral health, addiction, and homelessness? And Clyde, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you for this question. So, unsurprisingly or surprisingly, our office is actually in the process of drafting bills and talking to folks and stakeholdering bills for the next session. And this is actually one of our major points for next session, hopefully passing a bill on this. As a vice chair of the House Education Committee, I am acutely aware of the mental behavioral health crisis that our kids face all the way from elementary school to high school. So my belief is that we need to use the community resources that are in existence. How do we ensure that folks are really involved in trying to tackle this issue? I think one way, and this is a bill that we're drafting now and hopefully passing, is to utilize folks in the higher education side, people who are actually studying and trying to get clinical hours to become a social worker or be involved in the mental behavioral health space. So how do we get those students, capture those students who are super enthusiastic about helping our kids in this space and have their clinical hours served in our K-12 system? This is a very, in my mind, a unique way of solving this challenge as we face budget issues. But by utilizing the existing community resources, we can hopefully one day get more and more folks involved in solving this behavioral and mental behavioral health challenge in the K-12 system. Finally, we really need to focus on affordable housing. A lot of folks who are homeless They were homeless because of the challenging rent increases, the challenges of just buying a home. So those are we have in the past funded millions of dollars into our district, specifically in the 10th, on affordable housing. So those are the things we should focus on.
Thank you. Same question to Carrie Kennedy. You have 60 seconds.
Yeah, I think we need to first identify the specific problems that the individuals are having and work on helping them if it's an addiction or whatever that scenario is, and find the ways and the means to help them get out of whatever circumstance they're in. And if there's addictions or, especially mental health problems, provide those, and ensure that they're getting the tools that they need and not giving them tools, as in giving them drugs or just giving them a home to live in, but we're not addressing what their issues and their problems are. And I really do believe I've got a little bit of background in these areas, that we as a community need to look at our communities, not bringing in people from outside communities, because our
Fine.
citizens are important. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tim Haslow, same question, 60 seconds.
Can you repeat the question for me real quick?
Yes, how should the state address behavioral health, addiction, and homelessness?
Okay, great. Thank you. I gotta say, Mr. Shavers kind of nailed it with the housing and the affordability and the people who need a place to stay and how expensive it costs. This in the state of Washington, we already spent more on homeless than some states spend on budgets, honestly. So the reality is, we spend a lot of money on homelessness. I know the people in office now are trying to create legislation and do more funding and create this and create that. The reality is, we have plenty of funding already for it. We just don't do it correctly. We have to look at those programs. We have to make sure those programs actually create a result that we want, or we have to eliminate or rewrite those programs. We don't need to add to it. And so the problem is affordability. A lot of people are homeless because they can't afford it. And why can't they afford it? Because the state government has made our state so unaffordable for the last 15 to 20 years that some people just go to the other side. They just can't take it no more and they give up. And then homelessness leads to
Fine.
addiction. Thank you.
Thank you. Question 4. What are your priorities for public education? And the question goes first to Clyde Shavers, 90 seconds.
Thank you again for this question. As I mentioned, I'm the vice chair of the House Education Committee, so I spend quite a lot of time figuring out ways to better support our students, our administrators, and our teachers. The first priority is to provide meaning and purpose in our children's lives. And that means, in my mind, career learning opportunities. So for the past 4 years, I've been focusing on that, passing several bills that looks at what are the different career learning opportunities across our schools and how do we amplify that? How do we amplify and highlight the interests of our students so that one day they can have good paying jobs after high school? So a bill, for example, that we passed is actually lowering the grade for folks or for kids to get that career learning opportunity exposure from just high school to also middle school from 6th grade. My hope is that one day these kids, as they go through these different courses and CTE, so career technical education courses, they'll know what they want to be. I think the second thing is also ensuring that our paraeducators, our teachers are supported in our special education programs. So that was a very big push in the past few years. And with a lot of help from many legislators across Olympia, we were able to remove the state cap so that we can provide greater resources, more tailored resources, so that every student in special education and just in general have the tools to succeed. I think third, the priority is to ensure that how do we provide sufficient and free early education for every single family, no matter what zip code that family or that child lives in. And that includes TTK, so transition to kindergarten programs, as well as ECAP. I know that Whidbey Island and Camano do
Fine.
great jobs for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to Tim Hazlow. What are your priorities for public education? 60 seconds.
No, I think public education is important. All my children went to public education. I went to public education. Here's the problem: is we spend more on public education in the state of Washington than almost all other states. We're in the top five, if not number four at this point in time. And yet our education system has gotten worse over the last 10, 12, 15 years. So I remember when I was young, we had shop class in middle school, like what Mr. Shavers was talking about. Teach kids how to do stuff. Teach kids a career path. So when they do leave high school, they're not stuck having to go to get a crazy college degree that's going to cost them a couple $100,000, but not help them make any more money. So we need to spend wisely. Our education system is bloated as it is. The teachers don't get paid enough, and the administrators get paid way too much. We have way too many regulations and red tapes, and we concentrate on the wrong things in our education system. We need to be concentrating on the children and focus on the education, and let the parents decide. School vouchers, school choice. It should be up to the parents
Time.
where they're going to go to school. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to you, Carrie Kennedy. 60 seconds.
I think one of the biggest priorities right now is to ensure that our children are graduating from high school able to read, write, and do the basics that they're going to school to learn. And parental participation is imperative to ensure that their children and their livelihoods moving forward are brought into the educational system with the teachers and the districts. I think that we need to go back to the trades and get more skill sets for like wood shop and even home economics, basic trade type classes back into school. I believe that we've got to allow the parents to have school choice, and we need to be able to give the districts as well as the teachers and the educators the opportunity to come back and let us as citizens know what they need as well as what the legislators can do to help them. And
Time.
thank you.
Thank you. Question 5, and this is the last question. This will go first to Tim Hazlow. Recently, we've seen national funding levels decreased in various ways. What specific additional funding, if any, would you now say our legislature should prioritize? 90 seconds.
Great, thank you. That's an interesting question now, isn't it? So our state budget has more than doubled in the last few years. We spent Washington gets so little for our expenditures. So do we really need to generate more revenue? The sweetheart of the Democrat Party, Governor Breitbart, just recently came out and said that Washington State doesn't have a revenue problem. Not at all, not even close. They have a spending problem. So I don't agree that we need to increase the revenue. I think that this so-called millionaires tax, which we all know is going to be a tax on everybody if it stands, and as it stands, you're all going to have to file a tax return anyway, just to prove that you don't make $1 million. So it's going to cost you money and time. But we don't need more funds in the state of Washington to go into government hands. What we need is the government to figure out how to spend efficiently and accountable. There need to be some accountability there. And right now they don't have any. Every program in the state of Washington could use a haircut, if not a full-blown trim. And that's the problem. It's overspending. So I don't agree that we need more money coming in. And the federal money that came to us, that was one-time grants over COVID. And we decide in this government that wants to dictate the people what they want to do. We decided to make these permanent programs based on one-time funding. And then we had to scramble to try to find a way to keep it. So we made up this so-called millionaires tax that isn't going to do it.
Time.
We agree.
Thank you. Same question to Clyde Shavers. You have 60 seconds.
So there are many avenues or programs or aspects that have been cut from the federal government, but I'll focus on two very important aspects. One is healthcare, with cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. I'm very concerned that as time goes on, folks who can't afford healthcare, folks who are participating in those programs won't get the healthcare access that they need. So my goal has always been and will always be ensuring that those folks, for example, who have Apple Health aren't kicked off and can receive the healthcare that they need. Second is education. There are programs that are being cut in education as well, or programs that aren't even being funded, for example, in early education. So those are the programs that I think the state is incumbent on to funding. That includes special education, that includes early education. So these two things, healthcare and education, are so important to everyone's life that it is important for the state to say, you know what, while the feds are cutting these programs, it is incumbent on the state to say that no one, no matter where you live, no matter what zip code you live in, will have the support you need in healthcare and in education. Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you. Carrie Kennedy, same question, and you have 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm kind of curious about the question as far as the national funding level decreases. So I'll just address what I would put out there. I think education, we've got to start looking at the basic skill sets of education. And if the funding is not available here, and that's part of the decrease, that I'm not sure I agree that the national decrease is happening here, but the educational piece, if that in fact is happening with the national funding, then I think that we need to get the educational piece back to the state. And as I said in the earlier question, the other one I agree with Clyde is the healthcare issue here on Whidbey Island. Whidbey General's having horrible problems, and I think we're going to have some intervention probably at a national level to help with our specific healthcare needs in the districts.
Thank you. Now let's move to the closing statements. Each candidate will have 2 minutes, and we're going to go in alphabetical order. So,
Mary,
yeah.
just a minute. I believe Dave Paul is in the room.
Oh,
Why don't you include him in a closing statement?
okay. If he's here, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Tim Haslow, you're first alphabetically. You have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it. And once again, I've been on a few of these League of Women Voters forums and watched some other ones, and I appreciate you guys, what you do for the voters out there for information purposes. So, here's the thing, everybody. We need to talk about the one true problem the state of Washington has, and it's one party rule. I don't run against Democrats, and I sure don't run against Republicans. I run against bad policy. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you're putting forth bad policy, then somebody needs to challenge you. And right now, our legislature, for the last 8 years, if not a little longer, have done nothing but bad policy. You can go back and you can't find hardly any policy I searched that actually did something and provided a result that was lasting and not too expensive. And so we need to get in there. We need to make some changes. We need to have policies that are people first policies. If it's not going to help the people, then why are we doing it? If it's not constitutional according to the Washington State Constitution, then why are we doing it? If we can't afford it, then why are we doing it? And right now we can't afford it. It doesn't matter what policy you want to put in place, we can't afford it. We have a $9 billion debt making this
Tim, you're cutting out. I don't know what you can do about it, if anything. Has he gone away? Okay. Well, I guess we should move to Carrie Kennedy then. Carrie, are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, we missed part of what you said.
Oh, gosh, what part?
Well,
Let me just end.
Okay.
All right, we'll just end with this. If you guys want affordability and accountability, vote for Haslow. If you want the same old overspending and underperformance, stick with the people you got. VoteHazelaw.com. I appreciate your vote, and please go out and vote for somebody. Just vote. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Carrie Kennedy, your 2-minute closing.
Okay. I'm running to represent the people of Washington LD 10 because I believe the state deserves leadership rooted with common sense, integrity, and honesty. Like many of us, I'm concerned about the direction of our state. Families are paying more for groceries, gas, housing, and everyday necessities. Too many people feel like Olympia has stopped listening to the people, the citizens it has elected to serve. It's time to change that. I'm running because I believe the government should work for the people, not the other way around. I will always defend the United States Constitution and the Washington State Constitution. Our rights and freedoms aren't negotiable, and I stand firm in protecting them. I will fight to lower taxes and oppose a state income tax. Washington families work hard for every paycheck, and you deserve to keep more of what you earn. We need to restore the focus to the kitchen table issues that affect every family, lowering the cost of living, improving public safety, creating good jobs, making housing more affordable, and helping our communities thrive. I will stand with parents and protect girls' opportunities and safety. I believe parents should have a strong voice in their children's education, and our schools should focus on preparing students for successful futures. Our farmers, ranchers, fishermen, and small business owners are the backbone of the 10th district. They deserve representatives who understand their challenges and will fight against unnecessary regulations and policies that threaten their livelihoods. I also believe we need to safe communities where families can live, work, and raise their children with confidence. Supporting law enforcement and holding criminals accountable are essential to restoring the sense of security. Most importantly, I promise to serve with integrity. I won't tell you what you want to hear just to win an election. I'll tell you the truth. I'll listen to your concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. And I understand Dave Paul is here. Dave Paul, do you have a closing statement you'd like to give us?
My opening statement will be, I'm very sorry. A series of unfortunate events, and I am very sorry for being late for the event. Folks, I'm Dave Paul, and it's an honor to serve as your state representative. And I work at Skagit Valley College, and my wife and I and our 4 kids live in Oak Harbor. And I focus. There's so much anger in the United States right now, and in our community, and it can be so frustrating. And I think at a time when everything is so overwhelming, we should focus on what we can actually affect. And for me, that's affordability right now, and dealing with college affordability, and making sure that we've got great access and workforce training to family wage jobs. And much of that anger is in our country is because of the shrinking middle class, and the way to fix that is through family wage jobs. Over the last 8 years, I've really tried to listen to what matters to folks in our community, and then try to work on those issues in Olympia. So right now, I'm working with public safety officials and mental health providers and county and regional officials to fix our designated crisis responder system, which is completely broken. So when somebody is in crisis, they're not getting the help they need, and we need to fix that. And I'm trying to hold folks accountable and to get that process fixed. And I think you'll start seeing progress made this fall on that. We talk about ferries in our state and the importance for our community. When I got to the legislature, we really didn't have a champion for ferries. I'm now the House budget writer for ferries, and really cherish that work to make sure that we're going to get our ferry system fixed and working for families in our community. Folks, again, it's an honor to serve as your representative. Please reach out to me. I look forward to seeing folks between now and November, and learning more about community issues, and then helping to advocate for you folks for the next 2 years. Thank you so much. And again, I'm very sorry for being late.
Thank you very much. Clyde Shavers, your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you. I want to first start off by saying thank you to all those who are watching and all those who will be watching. Your civic engagement, your involvement, this is why I do this. You inspire me each and every day to work harder and harder, to be the first one in and last one out, every single day during session and after session as well. As vice chair of the House Education Committee, as assistant speaker pro tempore, so the person, the rep who's actually holding the gavel to move bills forward in the House floor, I believe it's really important to deliver meaningful results to the community. So in the past 4 sessions, we've been introducing, drafting, and passing numerous bills, both as the primary sponsor as well as the co-sponsor. And these bills range from really tackling affordability, ensuring that this property tax exemption program for so many seniors and veterans and people with disabilities is increased, ensuring that your water rates aren't dramatically or drastically rising, ensuring that you have convenient and accessible and affordable healthcare, ensuring that your gas, for example, your gas prices aren't increased by unaffordable gas taxes by the state. We also have passed major legislation on helping our veterans. House Bill 1102, for example, by significantly expanding the Veteran Service Officer Program. We passed major legislation on artificial intelligence transparency. House Bill 1170, for example, one of the first in the state. So we are really working as hard as possible for you to introduce this significant and sometimes even first type of legislation in Washington State. So moving forward, we're looking at legislation that tackles mental behavioral health in our kids, tackling legislation that really looks at traffic congestion across our state, and also looking at trying to figure out issues on the influence of unlimited independent spending in our campaigns. These are really broad issues, broad reforms that we're really hoping to move forward with your help, with your support, with your advocacy. So I'm running for re-election as your state representative for position 1, and really looking forward to knocking on our door and meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the candidates for the State Legislative District 10 positions. We appreciate your taking part tonight. Now let's move on to the Island County Sheriff candidates.
I just wanted to say thank you real quick. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. So we have Rick Felici and Javier Wasser. Are they both here? And did I say your name right? Is it Tavier?
It's Tavier, but that was close. I
Tavier.
appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, Tavier. All right. Thank you both for being here. And let's go to question 1. Which will be showing up any second. Here we go. Oop. What background and traits make you most qualified for the job of Island County Sheriff? Goes first to you, Tavier Wasser. 90 seconds.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to take a second to appreciate the League of Women Voters and all those that are participating in this forum. Thank you. So I think my strongest qualifications is I'm an Island County resident. I've been for 27 years. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I bring that Marine Corps veteran experience to Island County, back to Island County, to better serve our community. I've been a law enforcement officer now, coming up on that 15th year, and I've been taught from some amazing leaders. And the qualifications that they've taught me are mostly from the heart. It's very important that we bring heart with strong shoulders to carry that heart. And so some of those experiences and training things I have the stereotypical, executive level leadership. I've taken Harvard classes. I've got an executive certificate from Washington State Criminal Justice Training. I'm a Southern New Hampshire University student. I went to Skagit Valley Community College. I've gotten certifications from the FBI. I've also got the tactical experience. I've gone through SWAT school. I've gone through the SWAT team leader school. I'm a hostage crisis negotiator, so I have the tactical side too. But what I really have is a dedication to wellness. I want our people who are called upon to deal with the life's most dangerous and scary, to have a lessened backpack, if you will, when they get to it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Rick Felici, you have 60 seconds. Same question.
Well, thank you. To start with, again, I'd also like to thank the League of Women Voters and everybody participating tonight. My background, I think, is made me uniquely suited for this job. I started in law enforcement in 1994 in this county. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Since I started as a deputy in 1994, I've also served as a detective, a patrol sergeant, a detective sergeant. I've also worked in corrections, and I have been the chief criminal deputy of the sheriff's office. 26 plus years of law enforcement training in Island County. And I also have the absolute honor of having almost 8 years of experience as the Island County Sheriff.
Thank you. Question 2. And this question will go to Rick Felici first. What do you see as the greatest public safety challenges facing the county? 90 seconds.
I think we're fortunate to have the community that we have. We don't have a high level of violent crime, but there are challenges in public safety other than crime. We have issues with homelessness, mental health challenges for many people suffering out there, substance abuse disorder. And I think, unfortunately, the substance abuse disorder and the substance abuse and the availability of illicit substances contributes greatly to the other problems that we face. So addressing addiction and drug use through treatment, education, and accountability is a public safety priority for me. We also have and have had for decades a staffing problem for the Island County Sheriff's Office. We're currently the lowest staffed sheriff's office per 100,000 population in the state. And Washington is 51st in the nation for the number of law enforcement officers per 100,000, or excuse me, 1,000 population in the country. So very, very low staffing issues. So both of those things don't complement each other. If you don't have enough people to do the enforcement and the education and the treatment, it's going to make things difficult. I'm super proud of the work that our team does. Some seem to always get the job done, even given these challenges. So thank you.
Thank you. Same question to you, Tavier Wasser. 60 seconds.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll emulate a little bit of what Rick had said. You know, it's the people that get us across the finish line. And I think as the leader of those people, it's very important that those people go home again with that without that weight on their shoulders. I'm very much about taking care of the people who take care of us. I think this also kind of goes into a much broader topic that some of the other candidates for other positions have addressed, and I agree with, this is a lot bigger problem than just law enforcement. We don't just need a hammer to solve our problems. We need a heart that goes with that. And moving the pendulum from just enforcement to mental health counseling or mental health treatment, drug addiction treatment, all of those things holistically with the sheriff's office is, I think, the way we approach that as a small island or an island county, a small county, is we have to look at those creative relationships to be able to treat and care for the people in a much better way. And I know that I have those relationships, so thank you.
Thank you. Question 3. And this will go to Tavier Wasser. First, how should the department respond to issues involving behavioral health crises and substance abuse? 90 seconds.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, we just kind of touched on this, and I think it's good to be able to get this one even more fleshed out. So, you know, I think we're looking at more available resources. It takes a year to train an officer to be fully fledged and out on their own, probably a little bit more than that realistically. So what we need to find is a way to be able to treat or to care for people on not just the law enforcement side. And some of that's already been done, but I really, 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 really want to embolden that and grow that program with, you know, co-responders where we have somebody who's having a mental health issue or a crisis of some kind, and not just have a cop there to deal with it, also having a counselor or a resource manager or a case manager that can really walk this person who's going through crisis and feels out of control, get their own life back into control so that it doesn't become a law enforcement issue. Also, behavioral health wise and substance abuse wise, I'd really like for our new jail that we get built to have that reintroduction program that really offboards somebody who's been put into a corrections facility, to get them reintroduced back into society and have hopes and dreams for their future so that they don't continue to repeat and come back to us as a criminal offense, and more as a, hey, we want to come back and tell you thank you for helping me straighten out my life. We've seen how that's worked. It works across the nation, and we're a little bit behind the curve on that, and that's going to be a priority for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Rick Felici, same question, 60 seconds.
Thank you. This is a topic that is near and dear to me. For the last several years, well, actually for the last almost 8 years, we've worked collaboratively with our behavioral health and human services folks, and we do have embedded social workers and co-responders. We have opioid outreach counselors and those sorts of things. I agree that those things need to be much more robust. My theme has been for years that the problem with the solution to solving drug problems is treatment, education, and accountability, right? We can't arrest our way out of this problem, so there has to be a multi-pronged approach to it. And it is a priority for me to enhance those programs as well as their criminal justice programs.
Thank you. And question 4, and this is the last question. And this will go to Rick Felici first. Law enforcement agencies nationwide face recruitment and retention challenges. How would you address staffing increases? 90 seconds.
Well, thank you. This is actually, I have lived experience, quite honestly. We've had a significant number of vacancies for years. And we currently don't. We actually had one vacant position from a retirement that happened last week, but we're staffed almost completely to our funded positions. But historically, we haven't been. And some of this was compounded by COVID. Much of it was compounded by the rhetoric and the conversations and the criminal justice reform that occurred in the last several years. There was a period in the state where it was really difficult to hire police officers. And when the pendulum started to swing and people started to adjust, we were all competing for a very small pool of candidates. And Island County, sometimes couldn't compete financially with the signing bonuses and things of that nature that were going into recruitment. So we decided to sell the sizzle, if you will. We built a culture where people want to work. We've had people who have left, who have returned here. We've had people who have left higher paying jobs in law enforcement who have come here to the Island County Sheriff's Office because we built a reputation of being a work culture and an agency that people want to work for. So we have and will continue to address recruitment the best way we can, but so far that's been the best payback we've had.
Thank you. And Tavier Wasser, same question, 60 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad to hear that this is a question and a priority in the public's eyes, because I think it's drastically unrepresented. You can say numbers, you can say we're 51st in the nation and we're the worst for the state of Washington. But what I really want to focus on is the recruitment and retention really comes down to caring for our people. If we give people a good work-life balance and a good feeling in their community, they're going to be way more invested and way more they're more encouraged to come to Island County. Yes, we're not going to be able to necessarily compete with Seattle and starting people off in six-figure salaries, but realistically, what we can offer is a team, a camaraderie, a building, an actual impact, a great place to raise their kids and to retire at. I think those options, if you ask any officer, most officers these days are not looking for just the highest pay anymore. They're focused on what they can go home with that light pack or not that heavy heart. And I really, really want to focus on taking care of our people so that our people can take care of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's go to your closing statements. You'll each have 2 minutes and we'll do it in alphabetical order. Rick Felici, you may go first.
Thank you. And thank you for everybody that came out tonight, that took the time to come out and join us tonight. I'd like to explain somewhat of an elephant in some of the conversations that I've had recently. I decided to run as an independent because I'm entirely frustrated with the polarity of our current state of politics in this country. For me, it's a little bit cliche, but it shouldn't be about right or left. It should be about right and wrong. And at the end of the day, the job of a sheriff is not a partisan job. Decisions that are made have nothing to do with what party that a sheriff is. It has everything to do with the rule of law. In addition to that, you've heard me talk about leadership, accountability, and public safety, but those aren't just buzzwords for my campaign. Being sheriff is more than about enforcing the law. It's about building trust, supporting victims, working with our community partners, and ensuring the men and women of the sheriff's office have the training, equipment, and leadership they need to serve with professionalism and compassion. I don't believe leadership is measured by promises. It's measured by results. It means making difficult decisions and being accountable for them, and always putting the interest of our community first. If you choose to reelect me, I will continue to lead with integrity, fairness, and transparency. I'll continue working every day to build the best sheriff's office our resources will allow, one that earns your trust, protects your families, and serves every resident with dignity and respect. It has been the honor of my life to serve as your sheriff. I respectfully ask for your vote so that together we continue to move Island County forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Tavier Wasser, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank, again, the League of Women Voters and all those present. And I also want to take that time to explain why I want to be the sheriff and why this moment matters for Island County. I am running for sheriff because Island County deserves a leader who is present, capable, and prepared to take action to protect the future of this beautiful place we call home. I am committed to every resident and its guests. My oath is to the Constitution of both the United States of America and to the state of Washington. And what I bring to this office is Marine Corps discipline, current law enforcement experience, and a deep belief that public safety works when the community trusts its sheriff's office. Safety isn't just about the response or the tools, it's about the relationships. It's about accessibility, communication, and a department that works hand in hand with the people that it serves. When the community participates, when they feel heard, and when they know their sheriff is accessible, engaged, and accountable, that's when public safety truly becomes effective. If you elect me, you are choosing integrity, accountability, and accessibility. You are choosing a sheriff who listens, who shows up, and who protects everyone with fairness and respect. You are choosing leadership that is calm under pressure, grounded in law, and focused on real solutions. Island County is special because of the people that we surround ourselves with, and we have a lot of them around these islands. We have an opportunity to strengthen what works, fix what doesn't, and build a sheriff's office that reflects the true values of the people that live here. We can build that safer, stronger Island County, one where residents feel protected, every deputy feels supported, and every voice matters. Because this forum was timed, I want to make sure that we have that opportunity. Please reach out to me. Please try and get in touch so that we can connect, so that I can better serve you. And finally, I want to say, I believe leadership means showing up, standing with the community, and leading by example. I've done that, and I'm prepared to continue to do that every day. I'm ready to serve, I'm ready to lead, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to both of our county sheriff candidates. We appreciate it. And we'll be moving on to the County Commissioner District 3 candidates. And we have Satin Arnett, Grant Shaw, and Matthew Van Pelt. Let's go to question 1. And this will go first to Matthew Van Pelt. Why are you running for county commissioner? And you have 90 seconds.
So one of the biggest reasons I'm running is I always tell people that to be able to make change, you need to be involved. And that is one of the reasons my wife had ran, that was your previous clerk, was because I had told her, if you're going to talk about it, you need to run for it. Well, now is my time to step up and work with our current county commissioners that will stay in seat, learn the position, and work with them to take Island County to an even better place than it already is. I want to ensure that I leave our county better than when I moved here in 2004.
Thank you. Grant Shaw, same question to you, 60 seconds.
Sure. Thank you for having me today. I'm running for Island County Commissioner because I've lived in Island County for 30 plus years now. Majority of that time I have volunteered, worked in the schools, helped the community as much as I can. And this just feels like the natural progression of how I can continue to help community, maintain our rural lifestyle. I've really loved partnering with nonprofits and, like I said, schools and everything else. So this is, I believe life takes you ways, and sometimes you have to listen to when it asks you to go a certain way. So I was really honored when Janet St. Clair came and asked me to run, and this is just another way I can help the community.
Thank you. And Satin Arnett, you have 60 seconds, same question.
Thank you. Yeah, I am running for county commissioner. I have had the honor to serve this community for years in many different ways, through our local government organizations, nonprofit, volunteer work, and I've really seen firsthand how much local government affects people's everyday lives. I really think that actually that's the most important part of government. Through my experience, I've seen the difference a good policy and strong partnerships can make, and thoughtful leadership. But unfortunately, I've also seen places where people feel disconnected from government and unsure whether their voices matter. I've had the honor to, over time, people in the community began encouraging me to run, and those conversations really solidified my decisions. So what I want to do is I want to take everything that I've learned and the relationships that I've built and the passion I have for this community and use it in a role where I can really help make decisions that affect all of us. I really care deeply about Island County. I've raised my children here. Me and my husband have been here for the last 18 years, and it's a beautiful place to live. So I just want to make sure that we're continuing to plan responsibly and listen to our communities and keep Island County just a beautiful and thriving place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Question 2. And this will go first to Grant Shaw. What is your approach to affordable housing and land use planning? And you'll have 90 seconds.
Okay, great question. One of the best, boy, everybody wishes they had the answer for affordable housing. One of the things I'll really point to, though, is down in Langley, they have Generations Place, which is ran by Island Roots Housing. It is supplemented by federal and state funds, and it operates with a fixed income or fixed rate, so it doesn't meet general market rates, so we can actually afford housing for some people. And I think that's a great prototype for things going forward. I believe in building density where we can. The hardest part with affordable housing and land use planning in Island County is really, I'm president of a well association. It's really, the challenges are putting the shovel in the ground, how expensive it is just to do septic and do water. And I've sat through several affordable housing meetings where that is the main discussion of just the cost per square foot to build these structures and houses and help get more affordable housing. How we handle our water and our septic going forward is really going to be a challenge. And then in our cities, and especially on Whidbey where we have more infrastructure, filling in the holes and getting more denser residential place in there. That's really going to how we're going to help get to some affordable housing.
Thank you. Same question to Satin Arnett. You have 60 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. I think affordable housing is actually one of the biggest challenges we're facing. And there isn't one single solution. We have a lot of young families trying to buy their first home. We have workers who want to live close to where they work and seniors that want to age in place. And so we have people that rely on rental housing and buying homes, and those all look different. Fortunately, our county has already been planning for future housing needs through our long-range planning process, and I give a lot of credit and kudos to our current county commissioners. That's really important because our housing and our land use really have to be planned alongside the infrastructure. I also believe ownership, is one of the most important pathways to building generational wealth. So I really want to make sure that we're creating opportunities for people not only to live here, but to put down roots and build a future here. I believe that if we plan thoughtfully, then we can increase housing opportunities while still protecting the character and the natural beauty that make Island County so special. Thank you.
Thank you. And Matthew Van Pelt, same question, 60 seconds.
Well, this actually falls right in line with what I do for a living and have done for the last 11 years as a builder and business owner. So some of the problems that we've had is in 2018 and 2021 changes, they've added almost $132,000 into the cost of building a house. And of course, COVID didn't help either when we had to bring employees back at a higher level, higher rate of pay. So all these things have compounded on it. And then we also have to remember that we are on an island and we've got to leave some of the land open. There's got to be protected lands and we have to have our parks and stuff to be able to keep appreciating. So land cost is going to be one of the expensive ones. So there's a lot of things to it. So it's been good on watching the land use planning and also trying to create not just affordability, but attainability.
Thank you. Question 3. And this goes first to Satin Arnett. What are your top priorities for your first term? And you have 90 seconds. And you're muted.
Sorry, kept trying to press the button. My top priorities is really making some of them are making county government more accessible and responsible to the people that it serves. I want people to feel like they know who their commissioner is and that they're being heard and that government is working with them, not just making decisions for them. Another priority is responsible long-term planning. Like I said, we've done a lot of work through the comprehensive plan, and now we need to really focus. The focus needs to be on implementing that plan thoughtfully. So that's going to be a big job of the next county commissioner. And that means making sure that infrastructure and housing and environmental protection and our economic development are really all planned together instead of treating them as separate issues. I really believe that we can't really look at things as single box issues. When we make a decision in one part of the system, it affects decisions in all parts of the system. And another big top priority is our budget challenge that we're facing. I know that we're going into a really tough budget year, one of the really toughest in a long time. So I really want to make sure that we're being good stewards of our taxpayer dollars. We need to protect our essential county services and really be making thoughtful decisions to keep Island County strong, not just today, but for our future generations, because we have a lot of amazing kids that grow up here and they want to stay here. So I want to protect it for our generations to come. Thanks.
Thank you. Same question to Matthew Van Pelt, and you have 60 seconds.
So one of the main things that the new elected commissioner will need to do is learn from the 2 seated commissioners that will remain exactly every aspect of the job. And the reason I say that is because shall they go ahead and retire or move on to a different position, the person that's going to be seated from this election better be willing to put together all this stuff, because they will then be the one training the next 2 coming in. So we need to make sure we continue to learn that, and also to work towards being basically a role model for other counties to follow. That is my goal as the person that is working for the election of this position.
Thank you. And Grant Shaw, same question. You have 60 seconds.
Great, thank you. I'm offering a customer service approach that's really open to listening to everybody. I honestly say I don't know the answers to everything, but I believe in listening to everybody through a bipartisan approach. Budgets is a huge thing for sure. I've got experience in dealing with budgets over $250 million for many years, large departments, which I think will help me work and partner with all the departments that commissioners oversee. Careful growth, how do we maintain our rural livelihood, protecting our water system so we have good drinking water by preserving our shorelines, our forests, so we have good filtration for our waters. We have some like 6,000 well systems we need to protect them and encourage them on how to manage those. And Matt's 100% right. Learning this new position is super important for where we go with our new forward thinking of Island County, because he's right. The two commissioners have said they're probably going to retire. So earning their trust, learning from them as much as possible in the first 2 years is a key point. Thank you.
Thank you. And question 4. And this is the final question. And this will go first to Matthew Van Pelt. District 3 constituents live on Camano Island and North Whidbey, 2 areas with sometimes distinct concerns. How would you approach being responsive to all of your constituents? And you have 90 seconds.
So one of the things is making yourself available to the people. And with what I do for a living as a builder, I am traveling all up and down the Whidbey Island, Camano Island a few times, not as much as I'd hope to, but making myself available, getting over there, working with them to hear what their concerns are. I've been working with some people that live there to learn what their true concerns are, and everybody's concerns are different. So it's just finding the ones that truly affect how people live over there and what can make their lives better and what challenges we can work towards to make them better so that they no longer become a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to Grant Shaw. You have 60 seconds.
Great. Thank you. I declared for this position pretty early, into February, I believe it was. Since that time, I've spent a ton of time over on Whidbey, meeting with constituents and voters and just trying to learn as much as I can about Island County life over there. The one thing I've really learned is both islands look at each other like they're 2 different countries, but we do share a lot of the same problems with water development, growth, how we're going to manage all this. I really enjoy working over there and being over there. So I look forward to spending more time over there and meeting with constituents. Being over here on Camano, I've already know a large part of the population over here, but I think even utilizing Zoom, as much as I'm still getting comfortable with Zoom, I think, utilizing Zoom on a monthly basis to have meetings with constituents, advertising that I'm going to be in certain places to meet with people, different voters, really continuing to get to know North Whidbey, and all of Island County, actually. Availability, customer service approach, it's just how it has to be and be accessible at any 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you. And Satin Arnett, same question, 60 seconds.
Thank you. I think first it starts with recognizing that I know that while Camano and North Whidbey may have different priorities at different times, and like Grant said, sometimes we feel like we're 2 different worlds apart. But I think it comes down to it that people everywhere really want the same basic things. We just want to be heard and want good services and want to know that their elected officials are listening. One thing that I have learned throughout my years of community service is that you can't represent people if you don't spend time with them. So if I am elected, I definitely want to continue going out into the community like I have been doing, holding regular opportunities for people to talk with me, attending community meetings, volunteering, and just making sure that I'm hearing from really all of our residents throughout the district, not just when there's a problem, but continuously. And I think it's important to remember also that every commissioner represents the entire county. Even though we're elected to a district, we all represent the entire county. So my job isn't to choose between Camano and North Whidbey. It's really to listen and understand the different needs of each community so I can make those thoughtful decisions that are in the best interest of Island County as a whole. Thanks.
Thank you. And now we'll move to your closing statements, 2 minutes each, and we'll go in alphabetical order. Satin Arnett, you're first. Muted. Still muted. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, my button's not working very well. First, I want to thank the League of Women's Voters for hosting this tonight's forum and everybody that took the time to be here and be part of our democracy. I think that's a really, really important thing. And we've talked tonight about budgets and growth and housing and environment and all of these important things that face Island County. And those issues matter, but at the heart of every one of them are the people that we serve. I've spent years serving this community through nonprofit leadership, public service, and leadership at both the local and the state government levels. I've have everything from retail management experience and also experience with large budgets and policy making and networking and connections. And I really believe that those experiences have shown me just how much local government impacts our daily lives. They've also shown me the best decisions happen when people listen and we bring people together and plan for the future. So if I'm elected, I promise to show up, to listen with an open mind, to ask thoughtful questions, and to work really hard every single day to earn your trust. I don't believe a commissioner needs to have all the answers, but I do believe a commissioner should be willing to do the work, listen to the people they represent, and make decisions with integrity and transparency. So I would be honored to serve as your next Island County Commissioner, and I am respectfully asked for your vote. And again, I want to thank you for having me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Grant Shaw, your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you. Once again, thank you for hosting this. I really appreciate this chance to talk to everybody. Just introducing everybody to who I am a little bit more. Like I said, I'm a 30-year Island County resident. I've raised my family here, my 2 daughters. My 2 daughters got me into volunteering. One day I ended up in a Utsalati Eagle mascot, and I've enjoyed volunteering throughout the community for all these years. There's a park here, a private park here on Camino Island. I'm vice president of that park. When I jumped on the board for that, it was in foreclosure. Now last year I did $130,000 worth of improvements. And this is just a private park where we bring together community organizations and volunteers and really bring the community together. And that's how I look at being a commissioner, is bring the community together. I grew up, started work at 11 years old in the seafood industry. I've got that hard work ethic, the long hours. It's all behind me. I've really enjoyed that part. 18 years at Costco's taught me customer service, and that's how I approached this position as a commissioner. It taught me financials, like I said, over $250 million for many years. Teamwork, when you're managing 500, 600 employees and multiple departments, you have to have that teamwork and be able to approach everybody every day. I love infrastructure. It's kind of weird, but I'm like Matt. I've gone to school for Lake Washington Architecture School. I draw my own plans. I've done a bunch of different construction things, and I really enjoy that part of the job. I'm president of the Well Association, which really makes me keyed in and concerned about where our drinking water is going in the future. And that's really, with our growth management plan, I think our water and our septic systems are really going to be part of how we choose development and what's going on from there. My goals are to protect our health services, help our wells, careful growth, and protect our shores and forests. I promise to be available, customer service oriented, accessible to all of Island County, and I'd really appreciate your vote.
Thank you. And Matthew Van Pelt, your closing statement.
Well, I want to thank the League of Women Voters of Whidbey Island and also the other candidates for joining me in this time. To run for office is not an easy thing, as you all know. People can ridicule, people can do things. And I want to thank those two, both Ms. Santon Arnett and Grant Shaw, for coming forward and putting themselves on the line as well. So the thing that I offer to Island County is I came out here originally in 2003 to do a training in between deployments for the Navy. At that time, I was on the reserve side, and I fell in love with the town. Just absolutely fell in love with all of Island County and what it had to offer. And then I was able to come back to active duty. And when I did, I chose Whidbey Island. They wanted me in several other areas, but I chose Whidbey Island. I then raised 2 sons of our 5 children here and have raised 3 of our 12 grandchildren here. So very busy family man, very busy man. In 2015, I retired from the United States Navy and then began a construction company, then bought another company, a food service company, and then now also one other company. So as a small business owner, I understand the challenges that we have on the island for not only training and employment, but also what it costs for our people to live on the island and stay on the island. I'm lucky enough and that one of my gentlemen that work for me was able to just recently buy a house for him and his family. So I think that is a wonderful thing to have. What I bring to the table is the help with moving forward with what we do have coming up on our budget, which is a huge expense for a jail. I can then go ahead and rally around with other builders to help make sure we don't have overruns and to make sure that we don't miss things, that things aren't missed on an estimates. Those are huge things. And also the drive. I know what it's like to put in 100-hour weeks. I still do it, and I will continue to do it. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all county commissioner candidates. We appreciate your being here tonight.
Thank
That
you.
concludes our questions for this evening. Thank you again to all our candidates for participating and to our audience for attending. I also want to recognize Carla Grau-Egerton, Forum Committee Chair, and my fellow Forum Committee members for their hard work. An additional thank you to our timekeeper, Joanna Rooms, and also Carol Pulliam and Karen Bolstad for making our virtual forums a success. One final note, ballots will be mailed out July 17th. If you haven't received a ballot by July 22nd, contact Island County Auditor at 360-678-8290. Remember, the best option is to turn in your ballot using a secure ballot drop box near you. If you do choose to mail your ballot, mail it at least a week ahead of Election Day, which is August 4th. If you or someone you know has not yet registered to vote, you can still register online until July 27th or in person at the auditor's office on Election Day. Thank you again and have a good evening.